Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Love and Lore podcast. So it is currently 12:42 a.m. as I'm recording this, so that's why I'm a bit quiet right now. I don't know, I just felt the urge to make this episode tonight. I do low-key have a midterm tomorrow, so I should probably be studying, but that's okay because I think I studied enough over the past few days, and it's in the afternoon, so I have enough time to study tomorrow. Anyways, seeing as it's currently midterm season right now, I thought it would be nice to record an episode all about school and just talk about my academic journey and my point of views on school and grades and self comparison. I don't know, like the school system and university and elementary and high school, like all of the stuff. I feel like this topic is super fun to talk about. I love talking about school with people. There's just so many different point of views, and I don't know, I think it's a really good conversation starter, and there's so much I can say about it. But yeah, in this episode, I just want to talk about my point of views on everything. I don't think I have anything else to say, but I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. So I'll start with my very first years of school. I'm talking like pre-K. I remember this one core memory of getting my first ever homework assignment. My first ever assignment. It was in the Philippines. And my mom whipped out my homework, my papers from my backpack, and put them on the bed. And she was like, "Your first homework assignment." And I was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, okay. So we're doing this now." And I don't know why I thought like this, but just the words first homework assignment, I just kind of knew as a kid that this would be my first out of many. Like I knew this was the start of something crazy. And yeah, I don't know why I thought like that, but it was easy. It was like pre-K, like coloring or something, or word stuff, English stuff. I don't know, but just really always stuck with me. First ever homework assignment. Crazy, crazy, crazy. My early years of school in the Philippines was honestly really fun. I had a really good school, really good teachers, really supportive friends, really nice, like nurturing home environment, and I loved school. And it was also easy, literally, like I said, it was pre-K, nursery, like preparatory level, like super, super easy stuff. And then I moved to Canada, and I was in second grade when I came to Canada. It was so different. So like everything was different. The people, the environment, the school building. It was so much bigger. And I honestly really did enjoy second grade. I really liked my class and my teacher, and just the environment was pretty cool. I liked that it was different. And yeah, I also just remember wanting to go home like all the time though. I would always be looking at the clock. I knew exactly what 3 p.m. on the clock looked like because that would mean it would be time to go home, and I loved going home. I loved going home to play with my toys and stuff. But yeah, I genuinely really liked second grade, and it's the grade that I will always remember. Obviously, it was a really important year, but it was just a very impactful year. And then third grade rolls around. Obviously, second and third grade grades don't really matter at all. You just kind of just go with the flow and just do whatever you're asked to do. You're just kind of adjusting to how to do school. And then came fourth grade. Now, fourth grade was interesting because this was the beginning of letter grades. And this was a huge deal to me because leading up to fourth grade, I was like, wait, why am I not getting letter grades? Like, you know, I don't think in primary school or in the primary years they give you letter grades, but yeah, fourth grade, bro. I remember we were handed out report cards for the very first time, and I remember opening mine and not seeing a single A, and I was devastated. I was so heartbroken. And I think what made it worse was that my everyone around me was getting A's. I remember someone got like 5 A's, and I think they even said it out loud. And I remember my best friend also got a lot of A's, and I was like, "What the heck? Like, what about me? Like, where's my A's?" And that was kind of like the start of it all. I just was so heartbroken. I was really heartbroken, guys. And yeah, I think ever since that day, it's like the beginning of the whole academic validation mindset and self comparison. I think that was definitely the start of it all. Fifth grade, also not the best student. I was definitely on the average side. Didn't get many A's, probably like one or two, but definitely was not a star student for sure. I think it was definitely sixth grade when grades really started to pop off for me and started to matter. I really loved my sixth grade class. I loved my sixth grade teacher, and I think I got probably 6 or 7 A's average. maybe because I just loved the environment so much. And I just remember feeling like, finally, like, yes, I'm so happy. And I was so excited to always bring my report cards home to my parents. And I remember these report cards so vividly. Like, it would be report card day, and I'd always be, I think in grade six, I knew I was getting A's. So I was always so excited, and I would be like shaking when my teacher would be handing them out. And they came in these brown envelopes, and we would all just look at them together, and everyone would be silent and reading. And then, yeah, I just really liked sixth grade because I was just getting really good grades. And then seventh grade, this was obviously a big year because this was seventh grade, like you're going to high school next year. I remember not getting the academic excellence award, which I got in grade six, but I remember not getting the academic excellence award in grade seven and feeling, again, heartbroken, literally devastated. And I think I got like the citizenship award or something, which was good, but I really wanted that academic achievement certificate. Um, but yeah, I just remember not really caring about grades until fourth grade. Okay, so that was like my elementary journey with grades. Okay, grades did low key matter to me, and they kind of defined me in a way. And then high school comes around, and I think the equivalent of getting letter grades for the first time in high school was the honor roll system. I remember the first time honor roll came out, I'm like, wait, what the heck is honor roll? Like, why is everyone crowding around the office? Like, what are we looking at? And then it's a bunch of names of people that got on the honor roll. And I was like, wait, oh my god, am I there? Am I there? And I was not there. It was my first term in grade 8, and I was not on the honor roll, and I was, again, so devastated. Ever since that moment on, it was my goal to get on an honor roll after every single term. And it was not a joke, guys. I think I actually did get an honor roll every single term after that. And I think it really just came from a place of sadness, honestly, and jealousy and just like defeat. But it really pushed me. And I think that's what's so controversial about honor roll is that, it's really good to recognize people's grades and hard work, but obviously for the people that don't get on, it might be really discouraging, which definitely happened to me. I don't know if they still do honor roll right now, but that's how I felt towards it. Yeah, that was my kind of first early high school experience with academic validation. I remember getting pretty good grades on everything except like my STEM classes, like my sciences and my maths, but that's fine. Like as long as I was trying my best, I was pretty happy with myself. But yeah, honestly, like in grade 8, 9, a little bit of grade 10, I was definitely more on the average side, like not a stellar student, but like, not failing, but good enough to get on the honor roll every term and was pretty happy with my grades. Definitely tried my best, and I think definitely comparing myself to people was a big theme. I think it's such a actually a huge part of high school self comparison in every aspect, popularity wise, appearances, grades, social life, hobbies, skills, talents. There's just so much going on in high school, and grades was definitely a thing that mattered a lot to me. Looking back now, I feel like I never really appreciated what I was actually learning because I was just so focused on the grades. Like, I could tell you what I'm learning, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what I'm learning, which is now different that I'm in uni, for sure, but I'll get more into that later. And then grade 10, 11, 12 rolls around. I think this is when again, grades started to really matter to me the most. And I started getting really good grades. Obviously, I think it's just because when you're focusing more on what you want to do in the future, it's like, it's different. If it matters to you and your future, it's going to hit a bit different. You're going to try a bit harder. And obviously, I just, again, academic validation, I always just really wanted to please people and get good grades and just feel satisfied in myself. I think it was around grade 11 and 12. Yes, it was grade 11 and 12. People started to choose what they wanted to do, like I said, for the future. And this is when you could start taking your chems and your physics and just really catering what you want to do for your uni career and whatnot. I remember not taking chemistry, not taking physics, and being like, wait, am I not smart enough? Like, I just felt not smart enough for not taking these STEM courses. And that plays another role in like self comparison. I took like a bunch of more arts related ones, and like, at the end of the day, I didn't really care because this is my future that I'm doing this for, not anyone else's. But at the same time, there's like this little nagging voice in the back of my head, which is like, maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I should have taken chem. Maybe I should have taken physics. And like whenever people, my friends would be like, "Oh, I have chem next block, or I have physics next block," I'm like, maybe I should have taken chem and physics. I guess there was a bit of comparison there, but at the same time, I didn't really care because again, this is for my future, and good for them. But like with my own courses, I really prioritized school. I think school was my number one priority no matter what, and I did try my best in every single class. Yeah, I was pretty pleased with the results that I got. I think in high school though, it can get really discouraging when people around you are getting better grades than you, especially when you think you tried your best. I think when it comes to self-comparison in high school, a really important thing to know is something that I touched on, my cousin actually touched on in the second episode, is that grades can only take you so far. A lot of what determines your success as a student is also being well-rounded and not just grades, right? Being well-rounded, being involved, being an active person in your school, joining clubs, joining teams, and putting yourself out there. And I think that's something I did also a really good job on, was being involved as possible. And I think definitely drama played a big role in that. But yeah, really involving yourself doesn't just make you a more well-rounded person, but I think it also reflects on your grades and your work ethic and your presence in school. And teachers will notice. Teachers will notice. Your grades will reflect it, and you yourself will notice as well. Like being well-rounded really does make a difference. I think despite not me being in STEM courses or anything, I was able to be well-rounded and join things, which I think is a lot more rewarding than being in a STEM class, in my opinion. And again, I'm not even in STEM, so it didn't really matter to me anyways, but just wanted to say that point. So yeah, I graduated high school, and I think what's so funny that I didn't mention was that I actually ended up getting on principal's list in grade 8, which is crazy. Like the fact that I went from being so heartbroken in term 1 in grade 8 to being on principal's list by the end of grade 8 is honestly crazy. I think it really just shows how much I really like. If I am upset about something and I want to change something, I will literally do anything to change it. I think that was just a big surprise to me, and one of honestly my biggest accomplishments to this day. Still a shock about how I got on there, but it shows hard work and motivation. When you want to change something, if you want to make it happen, you will make it happen no matter what. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into uni. I think this transition from high school to uni was honestly like crazy, because I went from having great grades to like barely making it in my first year of uni. I remember literally crying so much because of the grades I was getting in my first year psych courses. Like, what do you mean I barely like passed this quiz? Like, why is it so hard? Like, it was so hard to get an A. It still really is so hard to get an A in uni. It was definitely a transition that no one told me. No one told me about this. And maybe it was because it's first year, I'm still adjusting to my classes, but I was like, what the heck? Like, this is so humbling. It definitely was another wake up call for me to step it up. Even to this day, like, it's still so hard to get an A in any class because every prof is different, every class is different, and every program is structured differently. There are different standards, and you always have to adjust to a whole new system every single semester, right? So uni is hard. It really, really is. And it's also so independent, which also is a really good thing. I think a really beautiful thing about university is the independence and the fact that no one cares about you. Like, no one cares. Like, really, we're all just so focused on our futures and what we want to do. We have our own paths, our own careers ahead of us. We're taking our own courses and our own timetables with our own lives. No one cares. Like in uni, there's like really no one else to compare yourself to except yourself. So, in a way, it really, really helps. And I don't really focus on academic validation as much as I used to in high school. Okay, right now, I'm not getting like super amazing grades. Like, definitely not as great as like my high school ones, for sure. But I'm getting grades that I'm proud of, and I'm getting grades that were made from hard work, okay? And I'm trying my best, and I'm definitely improving as I'm getting used to the system and midterms and how exams work in classes and the whole routine of course planning and all that. I'm definitely feeling more comfortable and starting to really prioritize what matters the most to me when studying and doing school. So, as long as I am in check in those aspects, I'm happy. I'm getting the grades that I want, and no matter what, as long as I try my best, then that's all that matters to me, which is such a step up from the mindset I used to have for real. Another really cool thing about me now is that I love what I'm learning. I think this definitely comes with the whole transition into uni, is that you can cater what you want. You can actually learn what you want to learn. So obviously you're gonna love what you're learning, or hopefully love what you're learning. But I can actually tell you guys like what I'm learning. Whereas in high school, I wouldn't be able to tell you what I'm learning. Like I'm just trying to do it for the grades. So yeah, I definitely think I've changed a lot. Like my point of views on school and my grades have changed so much ever since my fourth grade me opened her first report card and saw no A's. I've definitely changed so much. And if I could tell her one thing, I'd just say like it doesn't matter, bro. Like it really doesn't define you. The fact that you have no A's does not mean you're a dumb person, okay? And overall, my stance on grades now is honestly the only reasons I aim to get high grades is not to please anyone else, not for academic validation or anything, but because when I pay for my schooling, like obviously I need to make it worth it, right? And I want to get the best out of my education. And also, I see it as a way of holding myself accountable. You know, how disciplined am I? I feel like my grades are a reflection of my discipline. I think this is pretty obvious, but yeah, my grades are definitely a reflection of my discipline, my habits. Just seeing those letters, it just, kind of keeps me in check. But I think the most important thing is for my future, obviously, my future careers. The people who I'm helping in the future, I want them to feel like they can trust me and that I'm well educated and they're confident the person they're working with is well suited and knowledgeable in their field. And yeah, I guess there is a bit of academic validation in there, but honestly, not as heavy as it was in high school. If it's academic validation, it's going to be for myself and no one else at this point. Because I rarely share my grades with people. I honestly just, I don't even want to hear what other people get because one, I'm gonna compare myself, and two, I just don't care. Like, as long as I'm happy with my own grades, then that's all that matters. I don't need to hear anyone else's. So, now I'm gonna get into some tips on how you can be an academic weapon and some of my just tips overall on how I was able to manage school, balance school with many things in life, extracurriculars, and all that stuff, and just honestly how I enjoy school and what I do to enjoy school. Because honestly, I really do enjoy school. I love learning. I love what I'm studying, and these are some tips on how I maintain that kind of attitude. So, the first and most important thing is to make sure that you are actually interested in what you're learning. I know this is hard, especially if you're in high school and you're kind of forced to take certain courses or you're taking certain requirements for courses. Just try to make it as interesting as possible, even if it doesn't apply to your life at all. Just try to make it interesting. Try to connect it to yourself somehow because no matter what you're learning, it's going to be applicable to real life, right? There has to be some sort of reason they're teaching this. So make it fun, make it interesting, and it's going to be so much more easier to get through and you're going to like the class more, which means you're going to get better grades. My next step is to make a friend in every single class. I think this kind of more applies to university, but my goal is to make at least one friend in every class. I just talk to whoever's next to me, and it is really embarrassing and really, really scary. But that person that you make friends with or reach out to, they're probably so happy that someone reached out to them and that someone asked for their number or someone asked for whatever because they're probably as terrified or as shy as you are, but you're the one who made the initiative. And hey, you gained a friend and you gained a lifeline for the course and someone you can fall back and rely on. So yeah, literally make a friend. Just ask someone how they're doing or how they find the class or compliment someone. Just make a friend. The next tip I have is to ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help, guys. For me, I heard this somewhere on TikTok or something, but like when you actually ask for help physically or in person or like office hours or whatever you ask, no matter how little it is, it's always going to stick with you. If you made that physical connection with your prof or your TA or whatever about that specific topic, it's going to stick with you, I promise. And also asking for help, you might think like it makes you look stupid, but actually asking for help makes you look really smart. Like when I'm in class and there's someone who asks for a question, like asks for help or has a question, it automatically in my head makes them so much smarter because they're brave enough to ask that question and they got the answer and they probably answered that question for many other people too. They were the ones who took the initiative and took one for the team. It just shows so much confidence and at the end of the day, it's going to only benefit you. So literally just ask for help. And my next step is to make a literal, like, physical list of why you want to excel in school. I kind of listed my reasons for, getting good grades, right? for my future people, future clients, future whatever. I want them to know that they can rely on me as whatever occupation I'm doing. I want to, obviously, I'm paying for my education, so that's another reason. Holding myself accountable, discipline wise. Just list reasons why you want to succeed in school. Because then when you are facing really tough times, you can always look back on it and this is your purpose. This is why you're doing this. Be involved in clubs. Join anything. Like literally join as much as you can. Try everything, guys. Like literally try everything. When it's clubs day, go to as much booths as possible. And even if you don't like the club, at least go to like one or two orientations. You don't have to stick with it, but at least try because I've met some of my bestest friends through joining my clubs at school, and it's just helped with your confidence. It helps with well-roundedness. It looks good on your resume. It looks good as it builds your character and lifelong skills and friends. And my last tip is to not compare yourself to people. I know this is an obvious one, and I know that I have mentioned me and my issues with self-comparison a lot. It's definitely something that I'm working on, and will probably be something I'll always work on. But someone's successes is not an absence of your own, and you have to focus on yourself. And if anything, if you do find yourself comparing yourself to people, just use them as inspiration, not as like, as competition. Try to, be like, if I want to be like them, what are they doing that I'm not doing right now? And use it as inspiration, not as some sort of toxic competition, right? Because at the end of the day, doing things out of love will take you to much better places, right, than doing things out of spite. So this episode was a bit of a mess, not gonna lie. I apologize. I don't know, I just felt like rambling tonight, but I guess the main takeaways from this was, well, I went through my academic journey and how I viewed grades and self comparison and validation and all that stuff. I walked you through all my stages in school. I walked you through a big part of my university life and the transition there, and just tips on how to be an academic weapon. And I do like school. At the end of the day, I really do like school. I think it's so important to be educated. There are some flaws in the system though. Having to decide what you want to do so fast is honestly like why? Like why is that a thing? And in high school it's just hard to do your best when you're confined to the same people and you're confined to specific classes and like very little flexibility. It's hard. It's really hard to, keep yourself sane. But once you do get into uni and you find yourself being super independent, it does help. At least for me, it really helped a lot. I guess like a big takeaway from this episode is just to really just know your purpose and why you're studying, why you're learning the things you are. Make your courses and make whatever you're learning interesting because they'll honestly reflect so much and make you enjoy the course so much more and it will reflect on your grades. Ask for help, make friends in class, and just see your education as a privilege. It really, really is a privilege and it's so important. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on today. Again, sorry that this was kind of a mess. It's literally so late right now. But I just felt like rambling tonight, and I hope this helps anyone out there who is a student or just someone, in their academic journey. And yeah, I don't know, maybe I just hope you enjoyed hearing my point of views on everything. If you're taking the summer semester right now, I'm so, so proud of you. I know it's midterm season right now, or maybe when I post this, it's midterm season is over, but I'm so proud of you. And I know it is also grad season. It's the end of the school year for high schoolers, and also graduations happen for some universities as well and some colleges. Congratulations, guys. I am so, so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Like walking on campus, I've seen so many graduation ceremonies. Like it makes me feel so happy for them because I remember graduating and it's just a day to celebrate you and your success and your education and such a special special day. So super proud of you guys, and I hope that you guys have an amazing time in whatever you take up on after your education, after school, and I know you will do great. So thank you guys so much for listening to this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.